Today in the crypto space, we see the market looking a bit weak. Bitcoin right around 103,000, more or less. Ethereum right around the $2,600 mark, taking a bit of a dip. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins also coming down for a bit of a breather. Near Protocol, Aptos, Celestia, and many others currently looking a little slumpy. The question is, do we further dip or do we get a bounce and continue to the upside? In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one project, a project that has been lagging just a bit, and of course large cap, and that project is called Algorand. So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here, because overall we see the market taking a bit of a break. Coffee break it is for Bitcoin. As you can see, it's been going sideways. Today was not an eventful day. In fact, we've been seeing a few dips, you know, a bit of sloppy price action today. Bitcoin hovering steady, $103,000, $104,000. Ethereum, you know, doing its thing, down approximately 2.4%. But the rest of the crypto space, as you can see, pretty sideways, guys. Look at the range, very defined range, very sideways. We have Tron doing a nice little move. You know, Tron is usually coupled with, you know, stablecoin transactions, so that's pretty good indication that the market's still active with regards to stables. But as we keep on going down, you can see a few dips here and there. Pi down 22%, and a few others coming down, a few others still trying to desperately hold sideways. Uniswap coming down. We have Near Protocol, Aptos, all coming down just a little bit. I would say the market right now is between, you know, maybe 2 to 5%, maximum 5%. But generally speaking, guys, holding up pretty good. As you can see, there are opportunities, right? There always are opportunities. We do come down to, you know, basically dip and fill up those imbalances and, you know, retrace and find support and peaks and valleys along the way. And I feel like maybe in the short term, we could definitely be feeling this. And I've been coming up with this thesis already for 2 days. If you've been following me here and joining my live streams, I told you guys, be prepared for any pullbacks, be prepared for a bit of froth, and ultimately de-risk, take some profits, you know, trail up the stop loss, and ultimately be prepared. Because if we do come down to a little bit of a dip or a lower level, the question is, what are you going to do about it? Right? What are you gonna do about it? Because we had some good gainers in the last, you know, little while, and that you definitely don't want to give those gains back to the market. So right now the market's showing a little bit of weakness, you know, a few percent to the downside, like I said, 3 to 5% on average in some of the gainers. But the reality is, guys, maybe a short-term dip for a continuation up should be expected here, guys. Okay, so we'll definitely be looking for opportunities tonight in the live stream, so feel free to join. Make sure you get that bell notification on so you don't miss out, guys. 8 p.m. EST. All right, guys, let's talk about some of this price action. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. What is going on with Bitcoin? Bitcoin taking a coffee break. As you can see on the daily, the price is going sideways here for a few days, not doing much, not very eventful. And without Bitcoin actually making any major moves, all we can expect is that altcoins might be getting a bit of an opportunity. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, as we always say, you know, when Bitcoin goes sideways, we start to speculate. Bitcoin goes sideways, not doing anything, it's boring. Where do we speculate? Where do we look? We look into the altcoin market. And in the last little while, we've been seeing a lot of altcoins, you know, definitely wake up and show strength. Now, the question is that which ones are going to start showing strength? Like, are we going to start to see, you know, the entire altcoin market run up? Are we going to see Ethereum run up? Right now, we're not seeing much from the altcoin market. We got a few good gainers, you know, that did pop off today and, you know, and doing pretty good. But the reality is that I think a lot of us understand the fact that Bitcoin is at all-time high. Bitcoin is still hesitating. Bitcoin could easily come in within a nice structure within the current price, all the way down to about 87,000, even as low as 87,000, maybe slightly higher. and still range for a good while. We could still see Bitcoin range. Bitcoin finds its range. Bitcoin gives us an opportunity to speculate into other assets. And of course, we're going to get into the altcoins, right? We're going to be looking for opportunities. And we'll start rotating some of those gains and trading out of Bitcoin and getting into alts, and then buying and selling our alts and buying back into the Bitcoin. And we go rotate back and forth until we start to see this market heat up again. And we start to see the total market cap run, and we start to see retail come in and all that good stuff. But at the current moment, guys, I feel like Bitcoin is you're definitely taking a coffee break here at overbought conditions. Bitcoin got overbought, and for me, when I see Bitcoin overbought, and especially on this oscillator, guys, if you want to know more about this oscillator, I got links in the description. It's called Synergy Signal. It has been doing a great job giving us clues as to what's going to be happening here. Everything is overbought, and getting to fresh longs in overbought condition is rough. Now you can easily get onto lower time frames, scalp your way maybe for another move to the upside. It could definitely be possible, but at the current moment, I am risk off. I am waiting to see what the market produces in the next little while so I can plan out my next move. At the current moment, I'm not touching anything. My spot bags are packed. I have some longs already open from a good while that I don't want to close just yet. But ultimately, guys, I am defensive. I am defensive not only on my initial investments, my initial capital, but the gains that I've definitely accumulated in the last little bit. We got to protect them. Okay, guys? So Bitcoin, it's a little bit of froth. Could continue, but really, guys, a pullback would be healthy, and I'm anticipating something like that, especially that we're leading into the weekend very, very soon. Time flies, guys. I know we're Wednesday, but if by tomorrow we don't start waking up for some sort of pump, by Friday, people start closing off for the weekend mentally and economically. We start closing positions for the weekend, and weekend, is not usually not the best time to trade. Despite what happened last week, they're rare, but still, you know what I mean. All right, guys, let's jump into some price action. I know you're here to talk about charts, but guys, we're also looking for opportunities, and we're looking for laggers. We're looking for laggers with good tech. Now, let's talk about Algorand, because I think Algorand is a lagger in many ways. No, even from its technology, and not only from its technology, but also from its ecosystem. It reminds me of like a Cardano of sorts, in the sense that it's very institutional, meaning educational, part of the traditional educational platforms, in the sense that it's still being researched by professors and all of that kind of thing, which is great. Obviously the thesis is strong, the research is strong, the fundamentals are slow moving, but then again, their foundations are very, very, very strong, right? Academia does produce some great innovation, but usually it's slow moving, but all good if the foundations are strong. Now you can see this structure, so beautiful, very, very nice structure. Pivot point structure, right? We came down from lower lows and lower highs, very clear in a downtrend. Then all of a sudden we got a confirmation low, higher low. Then we went up. Before that, in fact, we got a higher high in comparison to this high, and now we got another higher high. So it looks like we're now in an uptrend, as you can see. Now the question is, in the next little while, could we get a bigger pullback and still maintain the uptrend, and then finally start moving up for a bigger impulse? And it's very possible, because the reality is that we haven't got an impulsive move. Small impulsive moves on lower time frames, no doubt, as you can see, but no major parabolic move like this one just yet. Okay, we want something like this, and eventually it does happen, especially once we see, Ethereum continue to show strength. But the thing is that the market has been showing so much strength in the last little while. I think a lot of people are getting risk off, worried that we're going to get a retracement very soon. And that's a very viable, very logical way to think. Once you see the market, overbought, particularly Bitcoin and Ethereum doing great, what else do you expect? You expect pullbacks. As you can see, the momentum at the current moment here on Algorand is not really overbought, but it's overbought enough that you might want to say, I'm not getting into any risky positions at the current moment, which is valid, right? Ultimately, when you're in a stage up here, you might want to squeeze another trade out. And to be honest, I'll be very clear here. If this momentum gets overbought like it has done in the past, guys, you're going to see an explosion. You're going to see a massive move. Okay, but I'm going to tell you this, like, okay, maybe this is enough. Maybe that's it. Maybe this is our signal. Maybe not. Maybe we go up for that next move. The problem is your entry. The entry at the current moment, you're buying at a level where we've seen a bit of froth. And that's the truth. We're seeing Bitcoin a bit frothy. Ethereum has already cranked. And if Bitcoin comes down, it's likely that we see Algorand come down. However, guys, I don't want to deter you from getting bullish here, because even buying spot is fine. You just got to take it on the chin if it comes down. But what about a trading scenario? The trading scenario is very clear. We got to get on lower time frames. That's all you could really do. Maybe the 4-hour. Let's see what's going on here. We're not even oversold on the 4-hour, which means that we could possibly do that and get there. I would say that if we can come into this zone right here, maybe hit about 20 cents, yeah, 21 cents to 20 cents would be a good level to see. Maybe we get that higher low, another higher low, and then go for another higher high. Another scenario would be to see the price after an impulsive move go sideways into a consolidation and not retrace. Right, that's very valid. Yeah, we could come down here and here, right? This is a level where I would be interested to see the price. But what about if we went into a bull flag scenario? After a nice V recovery, you know, we flag out like this, we go sideways, we create that flag, and we continue to the upside after a quick exchange of hands. Does the momentum have to get oversold? It doesn't. There's no rules that says that it has to get oversold. But from a risk-reward ratio opportunity, the only way I would suggest getting into a structure is when the structure is developed enough that you can put a stop loss underneath and expect it to continue. If it doesn't continue, you get stopped out and it comes down to this level. You wait for some sort of market structure here, you build your position, and then it continues to the upside. That's the way you do it, right? You have to be able to get in with a clear invalidation and a clear risk-to-reward ratio strategy, basically risk management strategy that's going to protect your investment. Your initial investment needs to be protected. Okay, guys. Now we do see a bit of negativity here on the 4-hour. Let's be real. The momentum's in a downtrend. Volatility got a Uno reverse without getting overbought. That's a sign of weakness. The green expansion on the 4-hour is pretty much tapered in and done. Do we go do we get a red expansion? You can see it's already coming in hot on the 4-hour. If you look at the trend oscillator, EMAs are facing down with red histogram bars. Okay, maybe a short-term dip here, and that's what I'm expecting. I'm preparing for it, right? And I'm holding spots since the bottom, like I've accumulated all within this range, but I'm not going to be getting into fresh longs right now because I already have my long positions. I already have my leverage, my margin, my spot positions. Leverage needs to be done strategically with a plan, and at the current moment, the plan is that, again, structure going sideways or retracement, and then we get structure for reversal. One or the other, pivot point structure down here or flag it out here in the consolidation. Those are two good scenarios, but not enough data, not even on the 4-hour to make that decision. We can get on the 1-hour. You can see the flag is potentially being built here in the chop zone. It could be possible that we get oversold still because we left overbought conditions, and you see this expansion, this and this all coming down as we are hanging around this level. The bears are showing strength. The bulls are showing weakness, and we are seeing expansion, red expansion. What does that mean? Look at this. Look at the trend oscillator. EMA is facing down, getting into the bearish control zone on the 1-hour. So I'm leaning towards a retracement here and a dip in the next little while. And unfortunately, like I said earlier, if we don't quickly start invalidating all of this, guys, we're gonna have a red rest of the week and potentially red weekend as we are used to. Okay, so be careful here. I think that Algorand, from a big picture perspective, is a good opportunity to DCA, but ultimately, guys, a retracement should be prepared for. Get in slowly. If you're absolutely FOMOing at the current moment and you want to have a bag of Algorand, buy a little bit. Satisfy the FOMO, buy a bit of a bag. If it does, it's going to run, and it's most likely going to hit about 32 cents. But if it doesn't, at least you know you're well protected, and at least you know you have some capital, some cash on the side, ready to buy the dip for those opportunities. So 4 hours, lower time frames on all charts currently are looking a little iffy. The daily on some of them are still looking okay, but again, the question is, do we fulfill the requirement to dip on the lower time frames and then continue on the daily, or do we continue moving up to the moon as the daily shows strength? Guys, it's a tough one. It's a game of probability. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. See you tonight at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.